Hey guys, welcome back to Lingaroo, where language comes to life. My name's Jen Walk, and I'm a licensed speech pathologist, and this channel is just to equip you, parents and caregivers, with language stimulations that you can incorporate throughout your day. Last week we talked about 3 specific strategies that you can be incorporating, and today we're going to move on and talk about 3 kind of theories of sorts, or things just to keep in mind as you're doing this throughout your day. So you're not going to want to miss it. We got it coming up. Guys, thanks for joining us. As I said, I'm excited about this channel, and I'm excited that you're here to take it all in and to learn more about how you can bring language into your everyday activities to help your children learn and grow. So last week we talked about 3 specific strategies. If you haven't seen that video, you're going to want to click here, one of these places. You're going to want to click on this video. If you haven't seen this video, you're going to want to check it out. We talked about self-talk, where you're just talking about what you're doing as you're doing it, creating kind of a running monologue of sorts, or you think of subtitles under a movie. We talked about parallel talk, where you're talking about what your child is doing as he or she is doing it. And again, kind of mapping that language onto their activities so that as they're doing and learning, they're hearing the language associated with those activities. And then the third thing we talked about last time was expansions, where your child begins to make sounds or make word productions, and you're going to affirm them and communicate with them by expanding their utterance to a longer sentence. Today's video is just kind of a deeper look at some strategies, and not so much strategies. I think of them more as theories, right? Or kind of ideas that we have about language. And so we're going to dive into that, and I'm excited that you're here. The first theory or idea that we're going to talk about is called language immersion. Okay, it's an idea of creating an environment in your home, again, through activities you're already doing, where you are immersing your child in language. Let me give you a little example, have a visual aid. If I have blue dye in this bowl, and I want to immerse this white cloth, well, it's supposed to be white, no judgment, this white-ish cloth, if I want to immerse it and make it blue, I have to get it all in, right? I have to immerse it into the dye so that every part, every fiber of this cloth is covered in the dye. If I have the cloth and I think, I want to make it blue, and I maybe just dip it in, dip a corner in, maybe I'll put this little piece in, a little here, a little there. Another day I dip it a little bit more. It's not going to be the blue, the true blue color. The dyed white rag is now blue that I want it to be, that it could be if I immersed it, right? How does this pertain to language? Well, for me, it reminds me of Spanish, okay? I took Spanish in high school. I went to class every day. I was a good student. I think I got an A in the class. Had a great teacher. My mom also had taught Spanish, and so she was helping me at home, and maybe helping me a little too much sometimes, but she was helping me a lot, and I learned some Spanish, right? I could kind of carry my numbers and colors, and but when I got to college, I was going to make Spanish my minor area of study. And in doing so, I had an opportunity to actually go to Spain for a month. I got to fly over. My mom actually went with me. It was so fun. And we went to college classes, right? So there was a little bit here, a little bit there. But what really helped me learn language was being immersed into the culture, right? Every day I was hearing it on the bus, in the restaurants, on the way to school, coming home from school, in the dorms at night. I was hearing the language. I was seeing and reading the language. And at the end of that month, I had really learned some language, and I had really learned some Spanish, right? Let me contrast that to my current situation. I live in Germany. My kids are in German school, but I run an English-speaking American speech therapy clinic here. So my workday, 9 to 5 and beyond, every day is English speaking. My husband pastors a church here. So again, it's an English language speaking church. So our community at church is all English speaking. It's very hard. My kids can attest to this. My Deutsch, my German is sehr schlecht, so terrible. And I have struggled, even though, again, I took some classes, I tried, but I haven't been immersed into the culture. When I am, times I'm able to go out to coffee with a German friend, I'm like, oh, okay, after a little while, I start to understand more. The speaking becomes more easily for me. But that concept of immersion, so you want to, in your home, create a language immersion environment. Every minute of every day, you want to be pointing out language, pointing out the verbal concepts in the world around your child. Okay, so language immersion is critical. The next idea that we want to talk about is called communication barriers. We want to set up barriers between your child and the world in which he or she lives, where they have to communicate in order to access those desired items or objects. Let me give you an example. I have a couple of things here. This is, again, I live in Germany, and I have not yet found the real cool little snack bags, the small ones that they say is more a snack size, which in my opinion, it might be a snack for a mouse, right? Because they're tiny. But anyway, they're good for kiddos. So a snack size bag with a Ziploc or something that makes it difficult to access. Put their snacks in something like that to where they either have to ask for help or they have to come to you to access. It's a barrier, right? A communication barrier. I have this little Rubbermaid type tin that has a lid that's pretty hard to get off for little hands. Put some snacks in that, again, so that they are coming to you when they want something. Desired toys, put them up on a shelf or the remote control, right? Hide it. Put it somewhere where they can't get to it. Granted, you're going to want to keep them safe, right? If you have a climber, maybe putting those desired things on the top shelf isn't the best idea because he will get to it, right? I've seen that as well. But what we want to avoid, I have parents in the clinic all the time telling me, oh, my kid's so independent, he can just go and do. He goes, he opens the refrigerator, he gets his juice cup, and he never has to come to me. He's so independent. Well, while that's good, right, we want to be building independence in our kids, and we want those gross motor skills and those fine motor skills of opening and opening containers and things like that. That's not the goal if communication is being hindered. We want to create an environment where they have to communicate. This idea that a child could go throughout their entire day and be perfectly fine isn't okay if language stimulation and if language development is our goal. We have to put barriers in between. It's that idea that like when a child's just able to go through his environment and there are no barriers where he has to communicate to push through those barriers, chances are good that communication is going to be less, that they're not going to want to talk if they don't have to. So we have to find ways to make them have to talk, right? So we've talked about language immersion, we've talked about communication and barriers, and the last one we're going to touch on today is just communication attempts. You need to figure out ways to increase the number of attempts your child is making throughout his day. So got to be real honest with ourselves. If your child right now is talking maybe 10, 15 times a day, maybe he's required to talk, or maybe at mealtime you're asking him, you're having him request 10, 15 times a day, you're going to want to up that ante. Wherever you are, again, there's no judgment, there's no shame or guilt. Wherever your child is at, we're going to bump it up, right? If he's maybe communicating 1 time a day, you're going to shoot for 2 this next week or the next couple of weeks. You're gonna try to up the ante and give him opportunities to communicate. We're gonna be putting out a longer video about this in the weeks and months to come. But for now, a good time to think about this is mealtime, right? It's super easy. Again, it's a time when the motivation is high because they're hungry and they want to communicate because they need more food. And it's a time when you can control the desired items, the portion size, right? Rather than just giving them the whole plate full of food, give them smaller portions. Why? So that when they're done, after 2 bites, when it's gone, you talk about the fact that it's all gone, and you talk about where did it go, and oh, it's in your belly, so now you're talking about body parts, and you're encouraging them to ask me, oh, tell me you want more, right? And you show them you're scooping up, oh, here comes more, it's coming to your plate, right? All of this language that happened in this little 2-minute interlude between what they had and it being gone. So think about, get creative. If you have questions, post them in the comments below on more ways that you can be doing this, whether it's mealtime or bath time, getting dressed, whatever it is, again, where language comes to life. Think about ways that you can increase the number of communication attempts that your kiddo has to make throughout their day. And start small. This is baby steps. Again, this isn't to stress you out. This isn't to add one more thing to your plate that you have to do. This is just to come alongside and equip you and help you see things a little bit different as we look at our everyday activities. Okay, so guys, this week be thinking about how you can immerse your child in language. Be thinking about how you can incorporate some safe barriers to their world around them that they have to communicate in order to push through, and then also increase those communication attempts. So guys, again, I am excited about this channel. I'm so glad you've joined us. If you like this, be sure and like the video, share it with a friend. Chances are you know somebody in your world who could also benefit from this information, so share it with them. If you're in a play group, talk about it with the other moms. I would love to create a movement where like-minded parents are coming together, a tribe of sorts where we can come together and ask our questions and get help for helping our kiddos at home, okay? We're gonna be rolling out more great content, so subscribe if you want to, so that you'll always know when we're putting out new videos and you won't miss a thing. So guys, be sure and join us next time here at Lingaroo, where language comes to life.